Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment of our show is brought to you by Games and Things. Today and tomorrow, final 2 days of Games and Things massive spring clearance sale. And when I say massive, and you have to say it like that, it's true. Everything is on sale in their store. With the exception of the human beings and the clothes on their backs, everything else is on sale. I'm guessing if you went in and said, I like the carpeting in here, they might cut you a deal. That's how big this sale is. Every year their spring clearance sale is just great. And after 40 years, that's saying something. Games and Things, get out and see them today, get out and see them tomorrow. Last 2 days, everything on sale. Corner of Lovell Road and Kingston Pike in West Knoxville. Games and Things. Okay, we are back with Bob, Josh, Chuck, and down there in the 3-hole is the guy who covers Vol baseball as part of the broadcast team along with John Wilkerson. That's Vince Ferrara. Vince, I'm going to start with you. Take a look at the numbers I put together here. These are now I've taken the COVID year out because everything got thrown out. Right. But here are your last 10 SEC regular season champions on the left and the last 10 College World Series champions on the right. And sometimes that's the same team, as you'll notice. But look in the loss column. For SEC champs, 13, 12, 21. Florida in 2014 won it with 23 losses. College World Series champs, 18, 12 losses and a tie. 19 losses, 18 losses. Virginia at 44 and 24. Vandy 51 and 21. Folks, Tennessee has 25 games to go and they're 30 and 1. 30 and 1. Now, there are 6 SEC series left, Vince. But you've already gone to Ole Miss and swept them. You've gone to Vanderbilt and swept them. I know that sports doesn't play out in real life the way it does on paper. But on paper, the odds of this team going into the postseason with 10 losses seems preposterous at this point. You are looking at possibly one of the 5 big sports on campus: football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball. You're looking at possibly one of the greatest seasons in University of Tennessee history. We're talking the Lady Vols 97-98 going 39-0, winning the national title. We're talking 38 Vols, 1998 Vols going undefeated throughout the entire regular season, winning the national championship. Is that what we're looking at here? Historic? I mean, you know the history of college, but you're a numbers guy. How many teams are running around out there that started 30 and 1?
Well, not many, and as John pointed out, and in fact, at the end of the year, there's, I'd say, a dozen or so teams that have, at the end of the year, single-digit losses total. Some Arizona State teams, Oregon State probably the most recent in 2019, and those teams don't always win the national championship.
As you saw right there, yeah.
Right. So it is this sort of a scary setup recipe for Tennessee fans of an amazing regular season, and then, oh wait, we're Tennessee, we've had disappointments in a lot of other sports. Is this going to happen again? This team, to me, that doesn't have weaknesses, so you would think not, but I mean, I could see where Tennessee fans would go there in terms of, oh my gosh, you're going to get disappointed again.
If this team ends the regular season with 5 losses or less, and then has 2 bad days in Omaha, which is possible. Just bats go cold for 2 days in Omaha because you're not playing 7-game series, which this team would kill someone. You just got a short window there.
Or before that, in a regional.
In a regional. But I'm just trying to think of the worst possible deal.
I mean,
let's say you get to the championship series and have 2 bad games. Chuck, this would rank up there. This could either be one of the greatest UT seasons ever, or maybe the worst kick in the teeth ever. If you lose. I mean, we're talking, trust me, I know what it's like. You're talking 2007 Patriots lose the Super Bowl. We're talking Virginia winning everything all year long and losing to Maryland, Baltimore County in the first round. Kentucky's Final Four team a few years ago undefeated until that national semifinal. Phi Slamma Jamma in '83. This is either, you're on the pace. The trajectory is either historically good or historically kicking the crotch. Is it not?
Well, the good thing is you're not just relying on 1 or 2 players. Right. I mean, you've got 3 aces that can start. You've got 102 miles an hour that can come in from the bullpen. The one weakness I would see would be sometimes on the strikeouts, that was up, and in their infield defense. But to me, you're playing for the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. And if you get that, you get the regional, you hope, right, and a super regional. And then that's what you got to focus on to get to Omaha. You get that number 1 overall seed, and that's where you're projected.
He
That's
completely
strong.
danced, again, he danced around the question.
Here's the deal. Always bet on disappointment. I mean,
That's what we're going for.
It's
There you go.
it's your team against the field. I'm a big fan of the Vikings, Tennessee football, Tennessee basketball. I'm buying into this baseball team. Disappointment has a chair in my house. I mean, it's always there. And so, yeah, I mean, I think they're great. Everything Chuck said and Vince said. But take the field. And when you take the field, it ends in disappointment.
Right.
And I'll always take the field. When Tiger Woods was the best golfer in the world, take the field because he didn't win them all.
Well, there's
That's
a lot
a
of
great
others.
point. Yeah, taking the field is a great point.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is I would feel better about this team if it weren't a 2 bad days, you're gone. I mean, because 2
Yes.
bad days happen. 2 errors can cost you a game. You're done. What are we looking at here, Josh? I mean, seriously, I don't. This is setting up like something we've never seen here in terms of baseball, but something we've seen only rarely. I've mentioned the 3 undefeated national championship. Something we've rarely seen, but we've seen a lot of disappointment. At this level, though, this would be quite the disappointment. This would be losing to LSU in 2001 in the SEC
There you
championship
go.
game when you've already put a rose in your mouth
In the
down
second
at the
half of
sideline
that
of
game,
Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you're right. The setup, the historical possibilities are all there for this team because of where the record is. Here, and I don't need to explain to Tennessee fans about the possibility of disappointment. You've all experienced it, right? What I would say to maybe feel a little bit better, because if you get to that point, because you want to get to that point, what will make you feel better is that you have Tony Vitello, whose personality, he will know what buttons to try to push so that the players are not affected by the moment, because that then turns into the conversation. Number 1, all these expectations, they've been number 1 or close to it for so long at that point. Again, if you get to that point in the College World Series, but Tony Vitello has the personality to where go take your shot, and you'll feel a little bit better with him on your side trying to lead you.
I would just say, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're pulling people into this like myself, who are not UT baseball followers, you know. But now you're getting people. Hey, I'm in the car. I'm listening to John and Vince, you know, sitting there doing the game. Is it on television? I'll watch it a little bit. Boy, does that increase your disappointment.
And disappointment.
Yep, there you go.
People who aren't hardcore.
People buying in that usually don't.
I was just going to say, the lesson is enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
Enjoy this domination that you're seeing right now and look at it and say, man, if we win a national title with this, that is icing on the cake. But that is so hard to do. You can be the best team in the country because the system is so flawed that that's not a guarantee you're going to win a title. So if it were me, instead of looking at this as, oh, this is great, but when we get to Omaha, okay, this is good, but when we get to Omaha, look at it and enjoy this, game by game by game. And if something happens great at Omaha, terrific. And that way, if something bad happens at Omaha, it doesn't erase what's an unbelievable. Tennessee baseball fans right now have watched 31 games. 30 of the 31 times they've been happy at the end.
Yeah.
That's pretty good bang for your buck in terms of entertainment right there.
And just last thing, don't look at it like football and basketball because those are one and done. You can't have that football mentality with baseball.
This is 2 and done.
Yes, right. But it's still 2. And this team has only lost 1 time.
That's
so,
true.
And then also, this team has accomplished so many things that haven't been done in the history of Tennessee baseball or in the SEC. This team is different. They're built different. As Josh mentioned, they're coached different. Don't look at it like football and absolutely enjoy that ride.
Okay, we got to. We're talking about Tennessee's basketball roster. I already had this planned. That's why it's going to be later in the show. We were going to talk about the roster turnover and what it means, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But Tennessee lost another guy this morning, Brandon Huntley Hatfield. I always want to say Bradley Huntley Hatfieldly. Hits the transfer portal. Maybe he turns around and comes back. We don't exactly know the reasons. There are rumors out there at the moment, but we have to do a show in the now. So we're going to give you our opinions on what we think and what we know now. And if something changes in the next 36, 48 hours, you can come back and go, ha, you were wrong. Fine. But we're talking Tennessee basketball next, and there's some pretty big holes to fill at this point. Come on back.